So being involved in the BBB and us being involved with this, giving you those trends, will help you stay informed and help you protect your business where something may come up that's unusual or not the ordinary. You know, we may have a rash of where they just drive through the front door, take what they want, smash and grabs and go. If you know that that's happening, you can take precautions to prevent that. So by staying active in these organizations really helps us, and it helps us get those messages out. Organizing business watches. If your business is in a strip mall or in a locality where there are a lot of businesses around, maybe you can organize some type of business watch. If you need help doing that, our Community Services Division can help you with that, show you how to organize it, to get it set up. I don't know if many of you are familiar with these new neighborhood watch programs, to where these neighborhoods have formed these networks where if something happens, somebody can go on there. Hey, my shed was burglarized last night. This was the description of the guy. The police came out. This is who they're looking for. And then everybody in the organization gets a text or an email or both. Maybe as a business group or a group of businesses, you can set one of those up also, to where you stay informed and stay up to date with the current trends and things that are going on. Technology, such as cameras, tracking devices, systems, assist, but of course, when dealing with technology, cost and expensive maintenance contracts can be an issue. This is January. We're in the year where, you know, at the beginning of the year, all those contracts come up. Maintenance contracts for software and different things. As a police department, we deal with that also. So I know those can be very expensive. They can be time consuming, and it's kind of like, well, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Do I keep it up? Do I not keep it up? Those are decisions that you, of course, need to make. But technology, and I was discussing this at the table with some of the guys I'm sitting with, changes pretty much every day. By the time I order a computer program, get it set up, it's already outdated. The company's already coming back to me and selling me an update program, or they're selling me something newer and better. So I understand your pain with that. I understand that technology changes. Probably in the grand scheme of things, that's a good thing for everybody because it does get better. Problem is, there's always a price tag attached to that. But then again, put a price tag on human life, put a price tag on your business. You know, sometimes we have to just buckle under and say we're going to cut this out, but we need this. So those types of things can help you with your business and technology. Who knows? Had it not been for a business that had a camera outside, watching the outside of his business in the front door, the Boston bombers may have never been caught. We don't know. It was footage from a business that caught the guy placing the bag. So having those cameras and the availability, I know my officers and detectives bug the mess out of you when we have a crime in your area, and we come to you if we see a camera and say, hey, can we get that footage? Because it may have a piece to the puzzle that we don't have or we may never have. So having those cameras set up outside your business is huge, and it helps not only you and your business, but it may help the guy next door to you, because a lot of times we get footage from local cameras that may not be on that business, but they have view of that business, or they may have view of the back entrance where we catch the guy coming in or out. So those things are huge for us. Of course, the basic fundamental tips of your business, lighting, reporting suspicious activity. I can't tell you how important that is. You know, a lot of times you look at something and you say, that's probably nothing, I'm not going to report it. In our safety classes where we teach and we talk about safety things, we tell our people that, you know, if it's not right, if it doesn't look right, it's not right. If you think for 1 second, or that hair on the back of your neck, or them little butterflies in your stomach tell you, hey, that just doesn't look right. Something's not right here. It's not right. And you should treat it as it's not right. If you come home or you come to your business and you say, you know, when I left yesterday afternoon, that door wasn't open. Or that box was not over there, it was over here. That chair that's sitting outside that my employees eat their breaks on was not below that window yesterday when I left. That's a hint. That's a clue. That's something telling you something's not right. Don't just assume that it's nothing and then go in. Call us. We got the guns. We got all the fancy equipment. we can go in, clear the business, make sure that everything's safe. That way you don't have to. So if something's not right, and it's not just for people breaking in, it's a multitude of things. But if something doesn't look right, usually it's not right. You know, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it's probably a duck. So treat it that way, all right? Report that suspicious activity to us. Yeah, a lot of times my officer's probably going to get on the phone and you're going to think, man, this guy doesn't care about me or what I'm telling him. But the problem is, a lot of times he may have had 20 calls of the same thing. And your call is helping in that, or it may help us down the road with something that we don't even know about yet. So always report that stuff. And if his conduct is unbecoming, call my office and I'll fix that problem, by the way. Make sure that if you do have an emergency, call 911. That's the quickest way for us to get people out there to your business. You know, I've heard a lot of complaints and being in this office about how long it takes my officers to get to the scenes. We called uniform, we called the 389-2000 number, or we call 911. It's 45 minutes and your guy's still not here. Well, there's a reason for that. Last year in Baton Rouge, we handled over 250,000 calls for service. What that means is we had over 250,000 people just like you call, say they have a problem, and ask for us to come out. Now, I am working with about 400 officers in the Uniform Patrol Division, who that's going to handle your call when you call. That Uniform Patrol unit assigned to your area is going to come out. We have a priority system in place because a lot of times the calls outnumber the units. So we may have a whole bunch of calls that are waiting, and I don't have enough units to handle the calls at that point in time. During peak times of the day, especially in the 2 to 8 o'clock time frame in the afternoon and evening hours, that's probably our busiest time frame. We have to put things on priority. So if someone calls and says, I have a bad guy inside my house and has a gun to my head, he's going to get priority over maybe a burglary that's happened and the suspect is gone. All right, and you're just waiting on police to come out and call. So a lot of times that's the reason why it's taking so long. We may have other priority calls that are just ahead of you, but I can assure you that they are coming and they will get there. Now, a lot of cities, and I'm going to pat Mayor Holden on the back for this. I know you've watched national news. There's a lot of cities that are in a lot worse shape than we are. We have a lot of cities that have went bankrupt. We have retirement systems that have completely collapsed. We have departments around this country that are laying officers off, furloughing officers for money reasons. Mayor Holden has not done that. To this point, we have not had to furlough anybody. We haven't had to lay anybody off. We haven't cut our services one bit to this point. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully everything will stay like it is or get even better. But my point with that is a lot of agencies around the country are not taking calls anymore. And what I mean by that, if you call them and tell them you have a burglary, they give you a date. They'll tell you on February 23rd at 9 a.m., I'll have an officer at your house to take your report. That's happening all over the country. And it's just by means of necessity. They just don't have the personnel to handle all the calls. And public service is probably the first on the agenda to get cut, unfortunately. So with that, I'm going to pat ourselves on the back that we haven't had to do that yet. We're still coming out. A lot of departments don't even write traffic crashes anymore. Unless it's a fatality, they don't even write them. They tell you to contact your insurance company and let your insurance company handle it. To this point, we haven't cut that. We're coming out. We're still writing your crashes. We're even writing them on private property, which a lot of places think is inconceivable, that we would even go onto a private property and write an accident. So with all that being said, we're still very fortunate that we're able to provide those services, and we will continue to provide those services. But if you get a call where it seems like it's taken us an inordinate amount of time to get there, call back. Hey, look, I'm still out here waiting. Is there an issue? Did you lose my call? Did you forget about me? And usually the dispatcher will come back on and tell you, no, you're just in the waiting line. As soon as we get an officer available, we'll send him right to you. With any successful organization, we depend on all areas of this community. Our greatest strengths are our cooperative relationships with the BRPD is available to create more extensive open lines of communication to each of your businesses. As law enforcement agencies, we're always looking forward to more partners from the business community in this area, and please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And we look forward to working with you and prevent and promote crime prevention. Expanding the BRAVE initiative. Is everybody familiar with that? Do I need to go deep into that? BRAVE, I kind of talked about it in the beginning with our murder rate and how we've, the collaborative effort. But we're looking to expand that. Mayor Holden flew out this morning to Washington, D.C. In search of some more grant money to extend our BRAVE initiative not only from the 70805 and 70802, but into other areas of the city. Mayor Holden is basically going up there to beg, borrow, and steal as much as he can from the federal government to help us in those funding issues. And he's been quite successful so far. And I can't say how successful he's been where other communities and other mayors have fell short. He's been able to get them here. So we're looking to do that. We will probably get into the Gardier Lane area. That is our next area that we're looking to expand into. I don't want you to think that BRAVE is just working in certain areas, because we're actually all over the city. You know, our criminals and bad guys don't stay in 70805 and they don't stay in 70802 by themselves. They're all over the city. So as that's the areas that the grant targets, but our investigations take us all over the city. We've been out to Gardier, we've been out to the north end of the parish and to the south. We've been everywhere with BRAVE. So don't think that we're just staying in those areas. Yeah, we're concentrating on stuff in that areas, but it is actually all over the city that BRAVE works. You'll see our BRAVE cars, and they're the little white cars that are unmarked, trust me, the criminals know exactly who they are every time they pull in the neighborhood. You know, they send us little text messages, we know who you are, you ain't hiding from us. You know, so those guys are pretty ingenious. We're also looking to expand this year. I've asked for an academy to happen in 2014. Mayor Holden has agreed to that. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. You know, I need 100 more officers. I'll just put it bluntly. I could use 200, but I need 100. Downtown is expanding at enormous rates. I eventually foresee us having to open up a district downtown where it's just like the one here on Coursey. It'll be a complete district that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just due to the enormous area that we're covering and then the amount of calls that we're servicing in the downtown area now. If you've been downtown, the nightlife downtown has grown. I can't even measure how much it's grown over the past couple of years. We're getting more and more calls for service down there. We have assigned officers down there on a nightly basis to protect and patrol the areas, in which it has worked to this point. But I foresee if it keeps growing with the recent addition of IBM, which will bring, I think Mayor Holden said, somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 new jobs to the downtown area and to the city itself. Mayor Holden is working on several other projects that are bringing more people to this city. I just need more people. We're working with the same allotment that we had back in 1989, 1990. And as you know and I know, this city is completely different as to it was in the 1990s. We just need more people in order to serve this community and keep our level of service up. We're an accredited police department. We just renewed our accreditation this past year. We are one of 300 departments across the country that are across the world, really, because accreditation goes all over the world, that are accredited. And you know, they have 481 standards that our department had to meet and had to meet successfully. And this was our 6th accreditation process, and we did very, very well. I'm very proud of our people for everything that they've done. But you can be proud of this department. I know a lot of times, you know, we're the first ones to blame when things go bad. But we have a very professional police organization. We're recognized all over the country for the things that we do. We were awarded the Meritorious Award from the CALIA program, which is our accreditation program. So we've got a lot of great things going. We have a lot of good things that we're working on. We're looking to expand things in 2014. We're not going to sit back on our heels from 2013 and pat ourselves on the back. We're going to continue forward. And like I said, our door is open to you, to business community. We need to work together to make this a better, safer place for us to raise our families and for you to raise your families and kids. And we want to continue that. And I want an open door policy with you and the community. We have moved into our new complex. Well, let me rephrase that. We are in the process of moving into to a new place there at the Old Women's Hospital. The administration has moved in, but if any of you have ever bought a new house, or a used house, I should say, you get in and you find that there are things, that's me, huh? I'm sorry, meant to turn that on vibe. Do what? Would you like me to answer that for you? Yeah, go ahead and answer that. But we're in the process of moving in. As we've moved in, we have found that things are not working or not as they were portrayed to be. So we're having to fix a lot of things. For the first couple of weeks we were in, our temperatures were in the 20s and the 30s and we had no heat. It was very cold. Had a lot of people with space heaters, and we were tripping breakers because we had too many space heaters on trying to keep warm. It is an ongoing process. We are working on it. The current plans are to have everybody in Physicians Tower from the Baton Rouge Police Department by September of this year. It's a multi-phase process that we're working on. There's some renovations that have to be done. As you know, the little exam rooms on most of the floors are not conducive to an office, so we're having to remodel a lot of that and put in a cubicle spaces for our employees to work together. So that is an ongoing process. You will see a lot of police cars at the place over there. We are manned there pretty much 24/7 now, and we have security there all the time. So we're trying to get in. It is a million times better than the Mayflower location we were at. And, it's amazing that everybody's sinus problems have cleared up. So everybody's happy, and it's a great place to be. The BRAVE initiative is a collaborative effort between the District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office, State Police, Probation Parole, our federal partners, ATF, and so forth. And we target violent crime, mainly homicides. We're looking for, we're trying to get our homicide numbers decreased. And in 2013, we decreased our numbers by almost 26%. So it was a very successful year, but it was just our first step. We haven't stopped working on it. It's not we're not going to sit here and pat ourselves on the back and call it a victory. But it's just our first step, and we're going to continue to move forward with that. We're going to continue to grow the program. We're trying to expand it to larger zip codes within the parish region, and it has really worked great. It's been a collaborative effort. Our departments haven't worked this close together ever that we know of, and it's paying huge dividends, and we're going to continue to move forward with it. I think the initiative is a success because we're all communicating. Within the parish, we're all chasing the same bad guys. The bad guys aren't just staying in the city. They're moving to the parish, and actually they're moving to other parishes in our region. So by us working together, and it's kind of like if we all work together, we can move a mountain. If we work individually, we can't move that mountain at all. So I think with that concept is why it's working so well, because we have so many more people involved, and we have a lot more assets that we didn't have before. The federal government has a lot more assets than the city police. The state police has more assets than us. So when you pool all those assets together, it's a large pool of assets.
These meetings are an opportunity for the BBB accredited businesses to get together and network, as well as non-accredited businesses who may be interested in accreditation come see what the Better Business Bureau has to offer. It's really one of the services of being accredited, being a BBB accredited member. All of our programs, our seminars, our luncheons, our breakfasts, our torch awards, and all these types of things are just one of the services provided by the BBB. The year 2013, we reached a milestone. The first time we've ever handled over 400,000 requests for services. And what that means is that more than 400,000 individuals contacted the Better Business Bureau for some type of service, whether it's getting a review on a business before they do business with them, or filing a complaint, or just getting some generic information about making a good consumer decision.
How long have you been a member of the Better Business Bureau?
I'm on the executive committee, actually. Been with them for about 2 years. Looking forward to serving longer term, and I find this to be a great group of people to network with and be friends with as well. You get to hear some great speakers. You get to meet some great business people in the community and forge some friendships and some partnerships. From my standpoint, it's the networking opportunities within the organization but I think the real benefit to the Better Business Bureau is the service they provide to the consumers of Baton Rouge. It's a no-brainer. You got to join the Better Business Bureau. I don't understand why people pay for being on the Angie's list when the Better Business Bureau is free and has been around forever and doesn't cost the consumer a thing to check up on the quality of businesses they want to do work with, as well as for the businesses to be seen by the people who are shopping for their services.
When you're invited to be accredited by the BBB, it means that you have agreed to comply with a number of standards as to the way you're going to conduct your business in the community, the way you're going to treat your customers, the way you're going to treat your vendors, your suppliers, and everybody in the community, as well as pre-committing to resolving customer disputes that are brought to their attention, even agreeing in advance to possibly go to arbitration if we have to. But it just creates that mode of ethics and commitment to conducting your business in our community ethically. That when you make that pledge and you get that accreditation seal, you are telling your competitors, the community, the business community, the public, that you are committed to ethical business practices, and it just sort of gives the guarantee to your customers or clients that you have that commitment and makes them feel safer and more comfortable in doing business with you.
How would businesses find out about how to become accredited?
They can go to our website, www.batonrouge.bbb.org. They can get information about accreditation. They can get information about all the services provided by the Bureau and how we can help them deal better with their customers and create goodwill with their customers in our community.